Everyone at the wedding was laughing, hugging, and celebrating like it was the happiest day of their lives. But in the farthest corner of the hall, away from the glittering chandeliers and the clinking glasses, sat a man in a plain black suit. His posture was strong, but his eyes carried a weight that couldn't be hidden. That man was Daniel, an ex-soldier, a single dad, and someone who never thought he belonged in places like this. "Why would anyone notice me here?" he whispered to himself, his hands tightening around the empty glass of water. The truth was, he had been invited almost out of formality. The groom had once served with him overseas, and though they shared memories from the battlefield, their lives had taken very different turns afterward. His friend built a business empire, while Daniel struggled to raise his little daughter after his wife passed away. As music filled the hall, Daniel sat alone at his table, watching groups of people laugh, dance, and clink champagne glasses. No one came near him. No one asked him to join. To them, he was just the quiet man with a scar on his face, a shadow from the past. But deep inside, he longed to feel included, to not always be the outsider. And then, when he least expected it, someone stopped right by his chair. A woman in a stunning navy blue gown, her presence commanding the room without even trying. She was known to everyone there, Claire Thompson, CEO of one of the largest companies in the country. Powerful, untouchable, the kind of woman men whispered about, but few ever dared to approach. She leaned slightly closer, her perfume brushing past him, and whispered words that made Daniel freeze. "Pretend you're with me." He blinked, certain he misheard. But when she gently rested her hand on his shoulder, 1,000 eyes turned their way. In a single instant, whispers began spreading across the hall. Daniel's heart raced. He didn't understand why this powerful woman, who could sit with anyone she wanted, would choose him, someone invisible in the crowd. Claire smiled at the curious stares and pulled out the chair beside him. "Play along," she whispered again, her eyes sparkling, but not with arrogance, with something softer. Something that reminded him of a secret pain she was trying to hide. For the next hour, they sat together. People came by to greet her, and she introduced Daniel as if he were someone important. He found himself laughing, speaking, even telling stories about his time in the army that made people lean in with admiration instead of fear. For the first time in years, Daniel wasn't just the lonely veteran sitting on the sidelines. He felt seen. But behind the glamour, Claire's smile faltered when no one else was looking. And Daniel, a man trained to notice the smallest details, caught it. After a while, he leaned closer and asked quietly, "Why did you ask me to pretend?" She looked down at her hands, her confident mask slipping away. "Because," she said softly, "everyone here thinks I have everything. But I don't. I built my empire, but I lost myself along the way. Every man who approaches me, they only see my money, my power. Not me. I just wanted to feel normal. Just once. And when I saw you sitting alone, I thought maybe you'd understand." Her honesty cut through him like a blade. Two broken souls, one marked by war, the other by loneliness in a crowded world, sitting together under the glow of wedding lights. The evening stretched on. They talked about life, about loss, about second chances. Daniel told her about his daughter, how every night he reads her bedtime stories, how she's the only reason he keeps going. Claire listened with tears brimming in her eyes. She admitted she had always wanted a family, but the walls she built around her heart had kept everyone out. By the time the music slowed for the final dance, Daniel thought their strange encounter might end with just a polite goodbye. But then, to everyone's shock, Claire stood up, extended her hand to him, and said clearly enough for the crowd to hear, "Would you dance with me?" The hall went silent for a moment. Daniel's scarred hand trembled as he took hers. Together, they stepped onto the dance floor. People whispered, some even sneered, but Daniel didn't care. For the first time, he wasn't dancing in the shadows. He was standing in the light. And as the music swelled, Claire leaned close and whispered again, not a request this time, but a promise. "You don't have to pretend anymore." By the end of the night, Daniel realized something he never thought possible. Sometimes life gives you second chances, not when you're searching for them, but when you've almost given up hope. To everyone watching this story right now, remember this: no matter how broken you feel, no matter how invisible you think you are, your moment will come. Someone will see you. Someone will remind you that you still matter. If this story touched your heart, don't forget to like this video, subscribe to the channel, and share it with someone who needs hope today. Because stories like this are more than just tales, they're reminders that even in our loneliest moments, love and belonging can find us when we least expect it.